Alright, there you go. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure why all of a sudden it dropped connection for just Steam, the stream, but didn't drop it for the game. How strange. Running a network test right now while in the background of my computer. It could be the flooding that's going on in Austin. That's the one kind of thing, I guess I should have said it before, but if for whatever reason I lose connection or, you know, it's obvious that my power goes out, it's because of all the rain that's going on currently. It's been pretty terrible here in Austin the last 2 days because of it. Yeah, the hurricane is on its way in. It just came. It's supposed to have infected the. Well, it's supposed to hit us, like pass over us, the depression or whatever. Here in just tomorrow, and we already have like 4 inches of rain per hour currently. Like rivers are flooding. Like we have a bunch of really bad flooding right now. So since Friday, we've already gotten like I think like more than a foot of rain. So. So my connection may be bad for the next 2 days is what I'm saying. Do my best to keep streaming during that time, but that's all I can basically tell you. So if you ever see it go down, just know that I'll be back up, you know, momentarily if it ever goes down. Press the wrong button there. Yeah, the hurricane that hit Mexico, Patricia, was a Cat 5, and then it kind of disintegrated as it got more inland. But it's tracking its way through Texas right now, and it's dumping a bunch of rain over Texas and Louisiana. Texas is where I live currently, so I'm kind of in the path right now. Which is why I didn't stream yesterday, because it was really bad yesterday, and I was actually having like water pour out of my windows in my house, and I was literally just putting down towels, you know, putting the towels in the dryer immediately, and just keep on doing that all the time. So that's why I was not on yesterday. Only a part of North Texas is, Cam. Not the majority of Texas. I think the last major tornado we had in Austin was in like the 80s. Usually the only thing that we get here in Austin is either rain or like really bad heat. That's typically the only things that we have. There's like the only 2 weather events here in Austin. Yeah, if you hate high temperatures, you will hate Texas. It gets really hot in the summer. Like the first year I moved here from Florida, because that's where I used to live before this. It was 115 for like 4 weeks straight. So without rain, without anything, it was terrible. Like, I almost immediately rethought my move from South Florida to here. Because in South Florida, the worst we ever got was like maybe 90 degrees during the summer, and that was only for like a week, and that was it. I'm not too much of a fan of the heat, but living in hot places for all my life has me a little bit used to it, so I just ignore it. It's definitely a thing that you have to get used to, though. Same with everything, though, really, every kind of climate. But yeah, like, the one thing that you have to get used to here is if you have any electronic equipment, that you have to have the fans, like, way higher than you would anywhere else. And, you know, expect to, like, have your back sweat a lot in a computer chair. Because it will. Like, normally my video card at 100% fan coolage when I play games during the summer, even if I, you know, blow out my computer with all the dust that's in it, usually is around 7 EC the entire time. During load, obviously, but... I'm not in the party currently, homie. My connection is causing issues with the party, so I'm not going to be in a party for a bit. But if you search for this game, you should be able to find it. There is a party also right now with my name on it that you might be able to join if you have any of the other guys friended up. Yep. Yeah, ping. Yep. I mean, that is also at 100% fan, too. Like, that's how high it gets, you know, with just the fan on blasting. That's the GPU, no, though, like the graphics card, not the CPU. The CPU stays at around like 40 during the summer. But that's because it's water cooled, my CPU. It was one of the things I built when I was still had money before, you know, getting injured and everything, and being unemployed for now going more than a year. The bullets caught up to me for death. I think that's probably the longest death that I've seen. The longest after their death. Yeah, that was the thing I actually had to look up as well. Cam is you know, trying to figure out like what temperatures graphics cards and CPUs would fry at, because it got so high, like temperatures that I'd never seen before, that I had to like research that after the first summer. Sure, homie. I'm not going to be making any parties currently, but I'm in a game right now that I've made. I think the best thing you can do is just go to like a select and see if you can sort for bounty hunters with tickets 99. You should be able to find it in the list if you search for it. Try not to get killed, but it's like 5 people around. That's awesome, Ping. Best of luck to you on that. Specialize in copyright law. Yeah, you probably won't be out of work for that. Especially in Brazil. Take care, Chef. Have a good one. Yeah, I don't know though. Like if you're the lawyer for people, it might not be the safest career path. You're involved in more, you know, uh, drug ring crime and stuff like that. That was bad. Could have done better than that. I am not surprised, Ping. I forget what movie I saw about that. It was a documentary about the corruption and the police in Brazil. There's been a couple of them. I saw City of God, the movie, which was great, but kind of like wide opening as a kid. I think I was in like high school when I first saw that. And then I saw, what's it, something Squad, I forget. And then there was like a couple documentaries that I saw on corruption in Brazil. It seemed pretty hairy there. Well, it can be. I'm sure it's not that scary if you're, as long as you're an average citizen, though. Unless you're in certain parts of Rio. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. That movie. People always like over-exaggerate how things are. Especially in documentaries when they have to like sell you on something. Yeah, Max Payne 3. Well, especially now, Ping. It was actually getting better there for a while, and then, you know, the ISIS shitstorm started. I hated Max Payne, so as a game, I thought it was awful. Couldn't stand it. I thought it was like one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. Thought like the game systems were bad, like way overhyped, way over reviewed. I did not like that game as much as other people did. Thought it was like one of the most boring games I've ever played in my life, along with being frustrating. And that's coming from somebody who actually enjoyed the Max Payne series up until that point. I even enjoyed 2, to a certain extent. Not as much as 1, but I still enjoyed it. But they got rid of all the madness sequences that made Max Payne great. They got rid of like the overly religious demonic element, which is part of the whole thing of that game. It went from being like taking a really original like franchise idea from like a big scope standpoint to one of the most boring, banal, you know, stories that has ever been written in games. Yeah, getting back on the hunt, Nugget. I was doing pretty bad there for a while. I was worried that my oxycodone is affecting my ability to aim a little bit, which probably still is, but good old back painkillers. Hate taking the stuff, but I wouldn't be able to sit here right now if it wasn't for being like actually taking the painkiller. It would just be too painful to sit in the chair. Yeah, it probably doesn't can, but I remember that game when it first came out. Just how revolutionary it was from a gameplay standpoint. And then the specialist, that source mod, or not the source mod, but HL1 mod came out. And then that basically riffed Max Payne, kind of took it and made it a multiplayer. That game, that mod was awesome. The specialist. If no one's played that game, you guys should seriously look up videos of that game. The game was awesome. That mod. Yeah, I dove into that game for a good, I don't know, 3 months straight. Literally did nothing but play that game. And then, I forget what made me stop. I think I was just like, got like basically overdived into it, played too much and got a little bit bored because of it. That game was awesome though. Yeah, I never played Specialist 2, but hearing people talk about it said that like basically it wasn't as good as Specialist 1, so I kind of stayed away from it. I didn't want it to spoil my memories of Specialist 1. It's funny that you say that, because my opinion is that Onslaught ruined UT. They took their focus away from CTF and lost the uniqueness of UT in the process of adding their stupid vehicles and all and the rest of it. I used to play UT a lot, so I played it competitively for years. Not saying that it wasn't fun to play that mode every now and then, but, you know, it's like a goof one-off, but they should not have invested that much time in that mode. I wore the... Are you talking about, like, the knot? Because I played with, what was it? The battle dress for a long time as an enforcer after I got it, and then before that I can't remember what the specific vest was. I think it was the one that was all the way at the bottom, the one that had like the black front to it with the like grenade pockets to the right and the left, because it was the only one that kind of like had that color scheme, I thought initially. But yeah, I use the Battle Gross now on my Enforcer. Man, wow. That was just bad on my end. UT is. Unreal Tournament's been in development for a while. The new one, which looks great, actually. It looks like it's doing well from the community sense. And also, Doom is the new... As far as I know, like, they're basically trying to remake Quake, but with just Doom itself, because I doubt Quake will ever get, like, its own title. But yeah, if I had to take like any shooter game to like be revived that I like the most, it would be Quake. Quake 3 was my favorite shooter to date. Unfortunately, it didn't do well after it came out the last time, and I think like the interest level of Activision now is kind of waned because of it. Yeah, it may be too early to judge currently. I mean, I really want Doom to come back. I mean, through like making that kind of play in Quake and all that stuff, but because I liked it much better than UT or any of the other arena shooters. But yeah. Yeah, multiplayer looks crazy. You know, I don't know how I feel about the power-up, where you become, like, a massive beast. It looks kind of dumb, in my opinion. I would have actually just preferred the normal quad damage, but, you know, we'll see how it works in the game. It's gonna be one of those things that if they allow people to have, like, dedicated servers and, like, custom game types, that's, like, the first thing that's gonna go, like the D-Walker would. If they had those options in multi for MGO. Every time I try to use that first person, it just sways too much. Yeah, you can post a link anytime, Aaron. Like I mentioned, as long as it's not spam or self-promotion, I don't mind anybody posting links. You don't have to ask permission. Yeah, what I saw of Battlefront looked actually pretty bad, like from the way they designed that level. We'll see how it turns out. I'm still willing to check it out, at least just to see what they do with it. I think, and again, I know this is not an opinion that I share with a lot of people, but or a lot of people share with me, that I think vehicles ruin multiplayer shooters. I don't think they belong in multiplayer shooters. I think they ruin it. Yeah, and that's my type of play, is, you know, infantry-focused gameplay. not the stupid, you know, hectic, spammy, like, regardless of any sort of skill gameplay. An open world MGO. I'm not even sure how that would work. Maybe FOB, but not MGO. It'd be neat to have like some co-op experience where you and your... Sorry. 1 second, I'm gonna mute my mic for a second. Sorry about that, guys. My dog was barking because we got delivery food. Have I ever played Tribes? Yes, I played Tribes, the demo for the original Tribes, back when demos were actually something. And I played the multiplayer out of that, just on the demo. I never got the actual full game of Tribes, but I did play a ton of that demo. Played the crap out of that demo. And then I played Tribes Ascend for a little bit. I tried to maybe think about playing that competitively, but I don't know, something about that game never really rubbed me the right way. I apparently did not do well that round. Did well the round before that, but not that one. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I will be right back. Just give me 2 seconds. Just have to get in my mini fridge, so it's not like I have to actually leave here, but yeah, PlanetSide I really liked for a while. I really wish I would have actually played PlanetSide 2 for longer, but I forget what caused me to stop. I was like top 10 in the world for a long time with MGO, or not MGO, but PlanetSide 2 for a while, and I enjoyed that a lot, but stopped playing. I can't remember exactly what took me away from it, but I think friends of mine stopped playing it, if I remember correctly, and then once they did, I had much less of an interest in the game. Yeah, and Battlefield I've never liked because of bullet drop and having to deal with that crap, and then the really crappy server latency issues and the rubber banding. I could never get into Battlefield because of that. I always played Battlefield because friends would play it, but I never liked it. I never liked anything I was doing in that game. I would always play it because friends of mine were playing it. I really actively hated it. I thought it was terrible. Yeah, weather's terrible right now, Nixon. It's kind of flooding pretty bad here. And that's actually why I wasn't on yesterday, because there was a bunch of flooding in my house through the windows. Not necessarily through the door, but was through the windows, so I actually had to monitor and, you know, watch what was going on because of that, so I had to call the stream off. I agree, Aaron, that you're dealing with corporate companies that don't care about it. They don't see any reasons for it. I mean, there's still some companies that care enough to put in. Toxic was one of them. That indie shooter that actually turned out really well. And I forget, there were a couple others recently that were talking about doing dedicated servers. I think Boss Key as well, with their Lawbreakers game is going to have dedicated servers. UT is going to have dedicated servers. So like a lot of the traditional arena shooters are going to start having that too. And maybe that'll put pressure on companies going forward to include it. Yeah, Rogue Spear was great.